I must admit that Luna's party was pretty amazing. I don't go out that often, but my gosh, it's a night I didn't forget in a hurry. Now, I've been asked to say a few words about how and why I set up the MBE Awards, the challenges faced, and the success achieved along the way in less than 8 minutes, so I'll try my best. Now, rather than any formal training, it has been a mixture of passion, persistence and determination that's helped me to set up and grow my own business. I didn't have the normal skills you would associate with starting off on your own, and I certainly didn't go into an industry I was familiar with, the music industry. I didn't have any business mentors in the family, and I certainly didn't have any contacts, but I certainly had lots of enthusiasm. But do you know what? What I ended up doing was learning on the job, and sometimes that's the best way to learn, just by doing. My failures and successes along the way has enabled me to learn more, build valuable relationships, gain new insights, gain ideas, gain inspiration, and apply the lessons learnt. And I guess one of those very invaluable lessons I've learnt along the way is that procrastination is the enemy of success. And I know a lot of us are probably guilty of this, and I really do believe the time you waste on stalling breeds guilt, and basically guilt deflates energy, and energy, the lack of energy, can even sometimes lead to depression. And we all get stuck in a rut and have nowhere to go. But sometimes, I think it's better, to just get going rather than to try and get it right. Now, to tell you a little bit about my background, being the youngest girl of 9 children, and I know, can you imagine? and growing up in North West London in a council flat, my mother wanted me to have a nice, safe, secure job. And she wanted me to be a teacher, and I failed in the traditional aspect of the word. And she wanted me to be a teacher because she thought Kanya will help contribute to the bills and keep a roof over our head. But I had other ideas. And in the mid-90s, the musical landscape was changing. And I recognised, as Chuk was saying, there was a huge gap in the marketplace and an audience that wasn't being catered for. And it's probably hard for some of you to really think about the world where the music we celebrate wasn't being championed or played on mainstream radio or any other award show. Genres such as R&B, hip-hop, reggae, gospel, jazz, despite having an enormous amount of sales, they certainly wasn't being recognised. So my dream for my business was to start an award ceremony that helped change the industry, also to help represent a wide range of genres, provide a platform for many emerging talent that would go on to become global superstars, and also to provide a positive legacy that would be enjoyed for generations to come. But the first step of the MBE journey really began from home. And I had all these little voices in my head. Those little voices that you get when you say, well, there's got to be someone better out there that can do this. There's got to be someone with more resources, more funding, more contacts. And when this didn't materialise, I thought, you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and do something about it. So, what happened next? I then set up office in my bedroom, and this is where the real work began. Now, what I found is that business and opportunities come to you through making valued connections, and this is what happened to me. I'll just share a little story with you. I unknowingly met the MD of London Weekend Television, part of ITV, and I was supervising at Arsenal football ground at the time. And this gentleman arrived looking very, very flustered because it was late and he was meant to meet his young nephew. So I took charge of the situation. I arranged for a tannoy message to go out and a place where they would meet. So he, as you can imagine, when he met up with his nephew, he was really grateful to me. So I had his captivated attention. And I said, I've got this amazing idea I want to share with you. Now, can you imagine how many times he must have heard this? I've got another TV idea. But you know what? The difference was, because I'd helped him out, he felt somewhat obligated. So he shared some of his time with me. And you know what? I learned that, you know, one thing I guess this taught me is sometimes to avoid talking too much about yourself, unlike what I'm doing now, but to actually listen to other people and also, you know, to see how you can help them and also build valuable relationships. So all this would have been fruitful if I had not followed up his advice. And this was, Kanya, send your proposal to me. It will go down a few levels, but I guarantee you'll get a meeting. So the next day, you know, I sent in the proposals, more than one, and I had a meeting the following week. I was subsequently given a broadcast slot, and the television executive said to me, Kanya, we have good news and bad news for you. The good news is we want to air the mobile wars. The bad news is we've got little budget, does it sound familiar? And we need this show to take place in 6 weeks' time. I had never put an event in my life like this. But you know what? When you get opportunities like this, it wasn't about whether I was going to do it, it was about how was I going to do it. So I grasped this opportunity with both hands, and I thought, right, I'm going to make this happen. Surprisingly, we were in a climate when the country was in need of a change. And the new Labour Party at the time was seen as reformed and fresh under the leadership of Tony Blair. So we decided to contact his office and invite him to the show. Not unexpectedly, we were told that his schedule had been booked months in advance. So we said to them, do you mind if we continue to update you, just in case, in a very, very small chance that his schedule changes? So they said, fine. So we all know there's a fine line between persistence and being a pain. And I think we judged it quite well, because, 2 weeks before the event, we got a call saying that Tony and Sherry Blair might be arriving. And we just went into overdrive. And 2 days before the show, they confirmed his attendance. Do you know, what was remarkable to me was the amount of talent that queued up to shake his hand, because they were willing and hoping that he would be the next Prime Minister. I think in many ways, the room at the time, the Grand Connaught Rooms, which is where we launched our inaugural event, was rather like where we are here today. It was full of energy and hope, and the feeling that anything can happen and nothing is impossible. And that's what we felt like at the time. The event was a huge success. We managed to pull it off, and the show was attended by dignitaries from all over the world, high-profile people, such as, Lennox Lewis and Heather Small and Lionel Richie picked up our very first Lifetime Achievement Award. And of course, Jazzy B, who we all love and adore, ended up accepting his award on stage and saying, he'd been over 10 years in the business, and this is the first award, recognition and appreciation he got in this country. So we felt very, very proud. I'm just aware of the time, actually, so I'll try and kind of keep it brief now. Since then, we've grown to become the largest urban music event in Europe, the first televised event of its kind to bring urban music to the masses, and we've extended our brand into tours and concerts and music showcases. We also developed talent and provided master classes and workshops, and we've got many more exciting kind of brand extensions to come, in fact, this year, so definitely watch this space. But although we started off extremely well, I just wanted to kind of share one of our many challenges, and of course we've had many along the way. It hasn't always been a walk in the park, as you can appreciate. So I just want to take you back to many years ago when a serious incident took place at a record label party on the night of our show. You know, security was lax, and a word got out there were lots of artists at this party, and so all sorts of unsavoury people showed up. And the next day, you know, the leading headline on a front page newspaper said, "Stars flee riot at awards party." It was unbelievable. Here was this headline about our event, talking about rape, guns, shooting, every negative you can imagine, and it had nothing whatsoever to do with us. I mean, we didn't realise the ramifications for us after this, because I remember vividly the next day, a courier company did not even want to drop a parcel off to us. I mean, who knows what they were expecting to find, you know. But you know what, we fought back. We fought back, and we managed to get an apology, albeit on page 17. You know. But you know what, the damage was done. And it taught me another valuable lesson. A lesson that it's not a level playing field out there, and that's life. And you just have to just get on with it, you know. And we realise that, you know what, it's not just enough for us to put on a great event. Our events have to be extraordinary. They have to be inspirational. They have to create dreams, and you know, that's what we've tried to do. And you know what, along the way, we feel very privileged to have been able to kind of support artists' many careers. I mean, it was only the other day where Emily Sandé said in picking up her award that if it wasn't for our show, you know, where it was, in a way, the first TV show to give her a platform and the first awards to, you know, promote and champion her before she was on anybody else's radar. Now, you know, one thing I found out that to me, and I'll wrap up, that, you know what, success in life is all about the right attitude. I read some research at a top university, and it pointed out that the major findings were that attitude, the right attitude, is far more important than talent, luck, education, and that the conclusion was that 85% of our success in life is due to attitude, while the other 15% is due to ability. And so one thing before I leave you, I'd just like to say, I want to really reiterate by saying to you all, if you do whatever you do for however long you do it and refuse to quit, success is only a matter of time. And I honestly believe that I haven't got where I am today through any extraordinary talent, but simply because I refused to quit. Thank you very much for your time.